Welcome to Tinkering with Gever, and welcome to my workshop. Today's show, we're not going to be building anything. Today's show is about finding things, and we're going to go around our houses and find things that make interesting noises when you tap them with a wooden spoon or you knock them with your knuckle. Anything we can do to get them to produce a sound. So instead of producing sounds with a vibrating string, we're going to look for things that make sound when we knock on them, when we tap them with something. And we're going to be careful not to tap things too hard because we don't want them to break. But I'm Gever, and I'm looking forward to finding things around our house that make beautiful sounds. And to help us on our journey, we have a visit from one of my friends, Camden, and she sent a video postcard. So let's check in with Camden over Zoom and then watch the video postcard together. Hi, Camden. Welcome to Tinkering with Gever. I know. It's funny because we know each other.
Okay, so I have a few questions.
Okay, start with your questions.
So how are the kids how are they, are you doing something so you guys can still be together or something like that?
Oh, at our school. Yeah. No, all of our kids are at home with their parents, and we're playing and working with our kids over Zoom, just like we're doing right now.
I just wanted to know that. Why did I say questions? I meant question.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. How about you? Are you talking to your teachers over Zoom?
Yes, and my classmates. And actually, I want to show you something.
Yeah.
Today, we started to plant an avocado seed.
Oh, yeah. Hold it up just a little bit higher. Yeah. Oh, I see. So you've got the seed from the avocado and it's sitting in a dish, in a jar with water.
It has to be something clear because you have to see if the roots, roots and yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it'll grow an avocado tree?
Well, we are, after 3 months, we are going to transport it into dirt. Sorry.
Yeah. Then, so that it can actually grow like a tree.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So, Camden, I asked you if you could find any objects in your house that made noise when you hit them. Did you get a chance to try that?
Yes.
Yeah?
I found a lot of things.
You
some
did?
Things outside, some things in the front, some things side, and
anything that made you were surprised at how, at the noise that it made or how loud it was?
I was surprised how loud these giant pots are.
Uh-huh.
Wait, let me show you. Let me show you how loud one of them are.
Wow. That is.
I blew up my eardrum.
Can you show us the pot that you just hit?
It's really heavy, but I'll try and hold it.
Oh, you can do it. Oh my God, it's big enough for you to get in.
I could probably fit in that.
Uh-huh. Maybe not to take a nap, but
I could probably chill in there for a long time and not be, petrified.
Yeah.
Scared.
So I understand your mom made some movies of you running around the house banging on things.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you got one you can show us?
On here?
On your phone, yeah.
Okay. Or I was going to show it, but.
Yeah.
Wait, is it still rainbow? Wait, why is it rainbow? Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. It's sometimes when the computer looks at the phone. Okay.
Oopsie, sorry. Hey, Gever. This is my video postcard for you. Okay. What? Oh. Sorry, dogs!
Go.
I'm so scared of because of the last part. I don't know if I can get this open. Okay, that's enough cringe for today.
Yeah. In all the things that you got to hit, which do you think was the most musical?
Those huge pots, which are way too loud to be musical. But I'd probably say one with the cups. Like, it was really like light and it wasn't too loud.
Ah.
So,
Yeah. All right. So I think I'll try some of the cups here after we hang up. And you get to have a little nap.
yeah, because I'm really tired right now. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. So.
Yeah. I heard that everybody around the world is having trouble sleeping.
Yes, I have no idea what it is.
Well, thank you for taking some time out of your day yesterday to make the videos and for joining me on my show today. Once I get this edited, I'll send you a little message so that you and your mom and your dad can watch it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll talk to you later.
So, do I leave?
No, you just wave and then I'll cut the video.
Bye. So just cut that out. Just redo that whole entire thing.
No way, I'm gonna put all of this in. This is the best part.
Oh. Okay,
Always fun to check in with Camden and see the world from her perspective. So that got me to think about all the things in our house that might make noise. And then I thought, well, I should really maybe limit myself to what I have here in the workshop. So I found a couple of things that I think make interesting noises. I'm going to try them here, and maybe you can try the same thing at home. But also, maybe you find something that sounds even more interesting. So let's take a look at these things that I've found and see what they sound like. Okay, what I've discovered is something I think we all know, is that not everything makes a beautiful or interesting noise when you tap on it. And this, for example, bottle of glue, just makes a kind of thumpy noise, which, I don't know, as a drum is not so bad. Is a nice kind of percussion sound. Something to it, right? But I found a kind of surprising thing that makes a noise. This chunk of wood. So this is just a board, and when I first picked it up, I felt like, oh, this isn't really going to make a good noise. There's something though. I noticed it kind of like rings if you hit it just right, and so I kept experimenting with it, and what I found was, if you hold it in the right place, you can get more of a ringing sound. Let me see. Did it matter which end? There it is. So that's pretty fun. That's a pretty good sound. Then I found a hinge, and it's just a regular hardware store hinge. And at first when you tap it, it's just a kind of metal clanky noise. But I took it apart. It's what's called a loose pin hinge. So I took the pin out, and then I have these pieces left. And what I discovered it's a beautiful bell. So the hinge makes a beautiful sound. And then most surprising to me was playing with a plate. I discovered I've had these plates for years, and I'd never noticed that they make this noise. And the two different sizes of plates make very different noises. Now, will this larger plate, will the note that it makes be higher in frequency, higher in pitch, or lower in pitch? Let's find out. I ended up bruising my thumb a little bit, or my finger, from tapping. And so I found a little piece of cork that you set a glass on a table so it doesn't leave a ring on the table, a coaster, as we call them. And the coaster works really well as a thumb, so that I don't have to keep bruising my fingers and thumbs. Because I didn't have a wooden spoon like Camden did. So all of these things make all these beautiful noises, and then I remembered something that I have in my yard that I found on the side of the road, and I'm really excited to go show you this. So hang on one second, let's go outside. No, boy, you wait here. I'll be right back. You watch the studio. So we're going outside, and I wanted to switch to the other camera because everything looks so gorgeous and green through this camera. And if I take you up here, you'll see, let's see, we're going to need a couple of pine cones because I never get it right on the first toss. Okay, 4 pine cones. I bet I can do it. And if we look over here, hung up in this tree is the rim from some kind of vehicle. I'm not exactly sure what, because I found this on the side of the road years ago. It's hanging at a little bit of an angle. I'm just going to adjust the rope so that it sits flat. That's better. There we go. Little flying saucer. And I dropped my pine cones. Okay. Are you ready for this? Okay, that was awesome. All right, back to the studio. Let's see if we can take a look at the different kinds of sounds that we've been getting. And I mean actually look. Let's look at some ways to look at the shape, texture of sounds. Okay, I've set up 2 different ways to look at sound, and I'm just using applications available on my tablet. And I looked in the various Google and Apple app stores, and they all have free applications for this. So if you don't already have something like this on your phone or your tablet, you can download one for free. The first one is just a voice recorder. And I'm going to use the Apple voice memo system, which is already installed on all the Apple devices. So this is just a voice memo. And if we look at it, we see it has this incredible, simple display that's super boring. But if we start recording, we see this red line that is responding to the volume of my voice. So if I stop talking, there's no motion in the line. And when I am talking, there is motion all the time in the line. And if I'm really loud, it's very big. And if I'm very quiet, it's very small. So this shows the volume of a noise, but doesn't give us any detail about the kind of sound it is. Is it a simple sound? Is it a complicated sound? It just tells us how loud it is, how quiet it is. So I looked around, and there are other ways to record sound. The one that I'm really liking right now is called a spectrograph. And if we look, you can see how colorful it is. Now, the brightest blue colors are the loudest frequencies. So if a sound is complicated and contains multiple frequencies like my voice does, it gets this blue scattering around, showing where the most of the sound is coming from these lower frequencies. And because my voice is deeper, not much up here in the higher frequencies, I can only get it to go up a little bit. Ah! But if I whistle, we see this blue line right here. And by clicking on the screen, it'll tell me some details about the frequency right at that sound level. But I think just looking at it and kind of understanding it, it helps just to stand back and kind of look at it. So again, if I whistle, I'm making a single note, but when I'm speaking or singing, I'm making multiple frequencies at once. So here's the whistle. And you can see there's not a lot going on other than, some little scattered noise, but the whistle is just that one frequency right across there. And I keep touching the screen. But if I try to sing, and I can't sing nearly that high, but if I try to sing, la, you can see that my voice contains multiple frequencies, and including a whole bunch of little things up here that are very high frequency, and I wondered where those came from, and then I realized they show up when I make an S noise, a hissing noise. I get a lot of very high frequency noise coming out. And that's why that's all up there, but my regular voice is way down here. But if I say this, it comes through right up here. So, very exciting. Then I wondered, what do these other objects sound like? So let me just set the camera up for that and we'll see. All right, we're back outside and we've got our spectrograph running. So we're going to find, there it is, the tire rim, car rim, wheel rim, that's what we call them, a wheel rim, and see if we can capture this sound. Now, there's always a problem of how to do three things at once when you're a human and you only have two hands. So what I've decided to do is use the end of my phone to tap the wheel rim. So get ready for a fun ride. But watch the screen as soon as I finish the tap. 3, 2, 1, go. And there we see it. Almost a single pure tone coming off of that gong. I think really what's interesting about that is seeing that the sound is so purely just that one frequency. There you can see my voice, or if I'm quiet for a minute, you can look at the ambient sound. Just the sound of the wind and the trees and all of that. But when I hit the gong, it's just that one pure note. So back to the lab. Let's do one more experiment. Okay, so I think that the tire rim is a lot like the plates. So I'm just going to set this up so that we can listen to the sound from the plates and look at it on the spectrograph. So let's try that. Okay, everything in place. And if the plate is like the gong, we should get just one or two strong blue or magenta colored lines over here. So let's see what sound we get. Okay, so we've got the strong pure tone. These vertical lines are the all the complex noises of tapping the plate. So this plate runs at that frequency, and I'm just going to set it here so we can see it. And this larger plate right here makes a different sound. We can see that color right there, and then this one is just a little bit higher frequency. It's a higher note, so it shows up higher in our spectrograph. Let me see if I can get these noises closer together. So if I This is really hard. I need a third hand. Hang on, let me try this another way. If I were to... Oh, I've got an idea. I just need a little thing to prop the piece of wood on, so I'm going down to the scrap pile. So maybe that could act as my... Oh, it's pretty crooked on top. What else have I got? Oh, what about that piece down there? Yes, Nobo's coming over to help find a piece of wood. He says, I like wood. Hi. No, I'm going to need this. You can't chew on it. Okay, let me have it. Good boy. Good boy. I'm going to use it for the experiment. Hang on. Okay, so this will be my third hand here. And I'm going to put the big plate on it. That's pretty stable. And I'm going to hold this plate. So let's see if we can compare these notes. There they are. There's the high one, there's the low one. So that's pretty cool. All right. All right. I think that's our show for today.
Scrap is going to play us a little song.
Thank you, Scrap.
I want to thank my special guest, Camden, and her mom, Christy, from Buckeye Friends School, who helped me make my show and showed us all of the things that make noise in their house when you tap it with a wooden spoon. As always, be good to each other. Take care of yourself. We'll get through this. And remember, the biggest playground in the world is the one right up here in your very own mind. There's nothing that you can't imagine. And I think that's the end.